I'm gay. I don't feel like that's an announcement anymore. I feel like you have to be trans to get any real attention, so I identify as a woman because nobody can stop me. I especially am a woman when I am waiting to go to the bathroom and the men's is full. I will definitely walk into the women's bathroom. If it's a single person's bathroom, I don't think there should be any issue. I don't think anybody should give me a problem about that. I don't even think they should put gender on single-person bathrooms. I had this happen to me in LA one time. The men's bathroom was full, meaning there was a person in there. The women's bathroom was open. Nobody was waiting. So I walk into the women's bathroom. When I come out, there's a woman standing there. And she was like, excuse me, this is the women's bathroom. And I was like, I'm trans. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then I forgave her right away because I feel like we as women need to be more supportive of each other. It was my first day being a woman. I didn't want to be that bitch, you know? Had trans friends my entire adult life, so I don't treat the trans community like glass. I know some people do. I think you should be able to acknowledge that there are certain differences. Like, female to male will throw you off. For anybody that's not familiar, that's commonly referred to as trans man. Person that starts off as a little girl, grows up, starts taking steroids, then is a man. I have no problem with this concept. I've hung out with a lot of trans men. But they are different because once the steroids really kick in, they look like any other guy. And that's the way you treat them in your head. Like any other one of your guy friends. And then you get in an argument with them and they start bringing up shit from 4 years ago. You're like, no, you're still a bitch. Sir. Pronouns are very important. You can be a shitty person with everything else, but as long as you remember the pronouns, you'll be all right. That's what everybody needs to know. Just use the proper pronouns and be a terrible person around that. Nobody can tell you anything. I'm used to performing in redneck clubs. That's usually where I perform. I perform in rooms that are so white and rednecky, sometimes my act doesn't even feel like an act. It feels like a really long suicide note. I perform in rooms that are so redneck, sometimes I have to educate them just to offend them. Saratoga Hot Springs, Wyoming, that's a place I perform. There after the show, I had a lady tell me, I'm sorry I didn't laugh more, but you talk fast and I can thank. I was like, ma'am, don't ever let that escape your head again. Besides, I already knew you were stupid. You live in Wyoming. If there's anybody from Wyoming out in the audience, I'll explain the jokes after the fucking show. Don't be offended. People will always be offended by what I do, though, you know? And this isn't the only place I perform. Like, I perform in different countries as well. China is one place that I've been to. China, when most comedians say that they perform in China, they're talking about Shanghai and Beijing. These are the two places most comedians perform when they go to China. With me, because anybody that knows me from the comedy world knows I'll do absolutely anything, obviously. They'll take me all over China. So I go all over China. One thing I don't think white people do that people of color do is when we're in other countries, we look for our own people. And I'll tell you, of all the cities I've been to in China, I have seen no Mexicans in China. Yeah, no Mexicans in China, which tells you one thing. The wall really does work. I asked every single show, I'm like, any Mexicans? No Mexicans. Any Mexicans? No Mexicans. We got the last show. Any Mexicans? Still no Mexicans. Finally, I'm like, who does your guys' dishes? They look kind of uncomfortable, but I don't know if they were really uncomfortable or if they were just like, who does do our dishes? That's a joke I've had other Mexicans get mad at me for because they say I'm perpetuating stereotypes about Mexicans, but there are certain jobs we have been known for doing in this country. Dishwashing, cooking, cleaning. These are jobs that we have been known for doing in this country, and to me, that not only is that not insulting, it actually makes perfect sense if you think about the history of this country. I mean, after we saw the black people get turned into slaves and Native Americans get put on reservations, the Mexicans were like, just look like you're cleaning. Maybe if we look busy, they won't mess with us. So no Mexicans should get mad at me for doing that joke, because to me that joke is just about the fact that Mexicans are good at figuring out what they're good at and getting paid for it. Just like white people are good at figuring out what they're not good at and paying for it. Like, there's just certain things that white people aren't good at, like cooking, cleaning, watching your own kids. Don't get mad, white people. It's called an Amber Alert for a fucking reason. Amber's always missing. She's always in a different fucking car. When's the last time you heard of a fucking Maria Alert? There is no Maria Alert. Because we all know where Maria is. She's at home. She's pregnant, but she's at home. It's weird to me when people try to talk shit to me online, because I've already heard everything people are going to try to say to me online. That's something that happens to me all the time. Like, one lady hit me up on my Facebook instant message and was like, nobody cares what you say anyway, your lips are clearly made of Botox. Very offensive, my lips are made of silicone. My forehead was Botox. Poor people never know what they're talking about. If there's any poor people in the audience, please don't touch me after the show. I don't know. I'm not a very smart guy. I don't claim to be. I didn't go to college. All of my friends went to college. They complain about their student loans and how they can't do anything with their degrees. I dropped out of school after the 9th grade and started fucking old white man. You can judge me if you want to, but I'm not complaining about student loans. The oldest one I ever dated was 84 years old. Yeah, 84 years old.
Damn.
True, and it was fucking disgusting. Letting him give me head was like feeding a baby bird. All right, well, you know, I hate people. That's one thing everybody should know about me. Like, when they first let us out of quarantine, I didn't even come out to do stand-up, even though that was my reason for being out. I came out hoping I was asymptomatic and gonna kill all these motherfuckers. Just like, please. Which, you know, one lady got mad at me for doing a joke about that, and she was like, my grandmother died in a nursing home with COVID. And I was like, if she died in a nursing home, you didn't love that bitch that much. I'm Mexican. Grandma dies at home. Yeah, it's not that hard to take care of a grandma. You just throw out a little bit of grandma pellet every morning. Let her nibble at that. But it is always going to be something with people, you know? I just don't care anymore. It's become too much. It's always supposed to be something. I'm Mexican. I know I look Asian. I'm very clear about the fact that I'm Mexican because there has been a lot of Asian hate going around, and I don't want to get caught up in that shit. Just want to make sure everybody's beating up the right people. If there are any Asians out there, please understand that was just a joke. Don't cough on me after the fucking show. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here now, and just so you guys know, I do like to end on a positive note. So I want everybody out there to know that no matter what anybody tells you, suicide is still an option. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ty Rivera.